Greetings, friend. I'll show you a Sudoku trick that I've used in dozens of championship puzzles. It'll help you unlock the quickest solve path in this Sudoku. Click below if you want to give this puzzle a go. And with that, it's solving time. Check out the ones. You'll notice there's only two places a one can go in block 3. So I'm going to use this called Snyder notation. Anytime a 3x3 block, two possibilities for a candidate, mark it, and you solve one of these cells, you can solve the other right away. That's not my big trick that I'm going to show you, but Snyder notation does help you identify that trick. Okay, we gotta look for some more restrictions. Look with the 2s, can't do any solving or Snyder markings there. But if we go to the 3s, we got some things going on. You might notice with this 3 in column 7 and the 3 in row 9, there's only two places for a 3 in block 9. So there's a little bonus tip here. These 3s are Snyder notation marks, but they also act as a pointing pair. And what that means is since the 3s are restricted in block 9 to column 9, a 3 can't be anywhere else outside the block. If you try to put a 3 here, you'd have no place to put a 3 in block 9. So that's helpful for us, create some more restrictions with the 3s, but we're not done with the 3s. You might notice with this 3 and this 3 here, we have another pointing pair of 3s in block 4. And this is going to lead us to the trick I'm going to show you here, because you're going to get stuck quite a bit in this puzzle. You've got to find this trick. Otherwise, you will not be able to move further and solve it. But it allows you to put 3s in this spot here in block 5. And then we can move on and look what we can do with the 4s. And there's a lot of similarities here going on with the 4s. So you might see is that this 4 cuts across row 6 and comes up column 1 just like the 3s. And so we're going to put the 4s right there. And this is the trick, because we're going to use this multiple times. What you might notice is the 4s go right there, and then over here the 4s are going to be in the same two spots as the 3s. So I call this Snyder on top of each other. But what you found is two places in this block and this block, the only two cells where 3 and a 4 can be. And since they're the only two cells those 3 and 4 can be, they are restricted to those two cells. So this is called a Sudoku hidden pair. It's hidden pair because the 3 and 4 are in there along the other candidates. When you find this, you can remove all other candidates from those two cells. And you know that it just has to be a 3 and a 4. And this adds a lot of weight and girth, I say, to the puzzle, to the houses, the rows, the columns, and the blocks. So like right here now, it's basically like having two cells, 3 and a 4 in these two cells. And now you have a 5, 6, 7. So you've added more weight here to row 4. And so now you only have to think about these other 4 cells until we can figure out which one's a 3 and which one's a 4. And before we move on to the next part of what we can do solving wise, I want to hear from you. How do you mark hidden pairs? Do you keep just a Snyder notation like this? Or do you go in here like I do and remove the Snyder marks and go to center marking? I want to hear from you. Share with the other viewers. Please share this. Help us grow the best Sudoku community on YouTube. Because what we can do right now, and I'll make those marks, is continue on and do a little bit more solving with the 4s. You got this 4 and this 4. So you have two 4s right there. You also have this 4 and the 4 right here. So we have a pointing pair of 4s up in block 1. So we can actually remove this as a 4 and solve this cell now for a 4 as soon as I get out of color mode. Awesome. And then with these two 4s and this 4, you can put Snyder 4s right there. Okay. And let's look at the 5s now. With these 3 5s, there's only two places for a 5 in block 2. You'll mark that, and then in block 6 with these two 5s, you'll see a pointing pair of 5s. And with this 5, you have Snyder 5s now in block 4. And we're going to find another hidden pair here really quickly, because we're going to move on to the 6s. What can we do with the 6s? You might notice the 5 and 6 are here, the 5 and 6 are here. And if you can increase your scan to see two digits like this as you're moving through, you're going to find these hidden pairs a lot quicker. So now the 6s are limited to the same two spots in block 6. So that's a 5, 6 hidden pair. And now you create a lot of restriction here for the rest of these cells, and also in row 5. What else can we do? You know, with these 6s here, you can put Snyder 6s in block 5. And now we can move on to the 7s. We're actually going to get a solve here. With these two 7s, only one place to put a 7 in block 7. Move on to the 8s. There's only one 8 and no Snyder marks or solving to do there. And you move on to the 9s. With these two 9s, you can put Snyder 9s right there. And so we've made some hidden pairs. We've added a little bit more weight here to some of these rows, columns, and blocks. But now you need to go back through and see what we've missed and see what we can add. Because we made a couple solves, a couple of markings of pairs. There's a little bit more easier stuff we can work on. Maybe find a couple more of those hidden pairs. And that's my tip to you. You always want to go back through and see if there's more solving you can before you look for more advanced strategies. There's actually a lot going on here in block 4. And this is where you want to focus right now. Because what you'll see is with this 2, you have a pointing pair of 2s right there. Okay, not a big deal until you notice where can a 5 go here? What you'll see is you have this 5, you have this hidden pair of 5s, which acts as a pointing pair. And so the 5s are limited to these two spots. However, with this 5, and the fact we solved that 7, a 5 is limited right here. We actually have a pointing triple of 5s. The 5s have to be in one of these spots in block 7. So this can no longer be a 5. You can remove that, and you can solve this cell now for a 5. Pretty cool. You want to see that because you want to be able to add as much as you can here. And then the same kind of thing with the 1s. So 1 comes down here. The 1s have to be in one of these 3 spots along with the 5. The 1s are restricted to these 2 spots in block 4. And guess what we just found? Another hidden pair. This is going to be a 1-2 hidden pair, which allows here for a naked triple to remain. So the 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 7, we just need a 6, 8, and a 9. And you want to be able to handle, I will mark triples, especially if they're locked triples like this. So they apply a 6, 8, 9 to the block and to the column because it's going to make eliminations that is going to help us solve the puzzle a little quicker. Because what it does here is it gives you a 2, 3, and a 4. All right, we know this can't be a 4. And then what you might see here is you actually have a naked triple now of a 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4 are the only 3 candidates that can be in these 3 cells. And so nothing else can be in those 3 cells. And since the 2s are restricted up here to block 1, you can actually remove a 2 from there. It creates a claiming pair of 2s. I'll mark that. And then we can see with this 2, you can actually mark 2s right down there. So we create a lot of stuff just by looking here in block 4. But we're not done because now you have a 1, 2 hidden pair here, 3, 4 hidden pair here, 5, 6, 7. You have an 8, 9 naked pair that's remaining in block 4. And guess what? We're going to create another hidden pair because this 8, 9 cuts across row 6. This 8, 9 comes up. So where can the 8, 9 be in block 5? It can only be in these 2 cells. You can put an 8, 9 right there, and nothing else can be in those 2 cells. Nice. And so you'll notice then that the 8s are restricted to these 3 cells in block 6, and with the 9, we can put Snyder 9s now in block 6 as well. And now we can look around because you might get a little stuck here. Might not sure which way you can go. Where is the greatest restriction going to help us? The actual thing you want to look at is what I call a heavy house. So a house that has at least 5 digits filled out. Row 2, check this out. Because we added that 4, you now have a 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just need a 2, 3, 8, and 9. Well, if you see this 2, 8, 9 right here, that is a naked single 3. Awesome. And now you just need a 2, 8, 9 across here. Well, 2 can't be here because of this 2, and it can't be here because this 1, 2 hidden pair. So you can actually solve the 2 right there. And then with this 9, you can solve this cell for a 9, solve this cell for an 8. And so we just were able to find a nice naked single and move on forward. I covered naked singles and pairs, naked pairs, hidden pairs, triples in my Sudoku solving guide. You can download it for free from the pinned comment below and help you catch all of these things I've seen in dozens of these championship puzzles. But now with this 3, you can actually disambiguate the 4 and the 3 right here in block 5. You make the marks because you want to eventually eliminate those marks. So whenever you have the chance to disambiguate, do it and create more solved cells. So after putting the 3 and the 4 right there, now we want to notice that these 3s and this 3 creates some Snyder 3s right here for another restriction. And then let's move and find another heavy house. How about right here, row 4? You have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We just added those 3 and the 4 there. So you got a 1, 2, 8, and 9. You look right here at this cell, what can that be, right? Can't be a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't be a 2, 8, or a 9. This is going to be a nice naked single. 1. Okay, and since you have a 1 right there, now you can disambiguate the 2 and the 1 right there. And this is going to create an 8, 9 naked pair to finish row 4. At the 5, 6 here, you got the 1, 3, 4 here. With this 2, that means that's got to be a 2, and that's going to be a 7. Looking good. All right. And now where do we go from here? You're going to look and see what we can do with the 1s now. Because of this one, you can displace that Snyder 1, solve for a 1 in block 3. And then with these 2 1s and this one, you can solve for 1 right there. Displacing that Snyder 6. And since you have the 8, 9, you can solve this for a 7 in block 5. And then with these 2 1s, you can solve for a 1 right there. Nice. And you'll notice now we can put some Snyder 1s right here. And with this one, you can put Snyder 1s right here. And this is a neat little situation here. You notice we do have the 1s and 3s Snyder on top of each other, but this additional 4 there. So like I told you, the 1 and the 3 are the hidden pair. And they have to be in those 2 cells. And once you see an additional candidate like a 4, you bump it out, you can solve that other cell right away for a 4. We can solve that for a 4, and we can move on with solving more of the puzzle. Awesome. All right, and then we look here in column 9. You just need an 8 and a 9 because I got the 8 right there. That's got to be your 8. This is going to be your 9. You can solve for a 9 right there. And we're going to keep on going. We might get a little stuck here, so we're going to keep seeing if there's another spot where we'll get stuck. You might need a hidden pair or something else to get us through it. You look up with this 2, you can solve this cell for a 2, and then we just have a 3 and a 7 right there, nice naked pair. But with this 2, you can do a little bit further. That's got to be your 3, that's going to be your 2, that's going to be your 4. So now we can actually disambiguate the 7 and the 3 right away. Awesome. And then what you might see is you got a 5 and 6 in column 6. Whenever you see the situation, there's only Snyder for one of the cells, and then you see the 5 covers the other cell, you know you can solve this cell right away for that 5. So that's the 5. That is going to be your 6. And then what we have left is 6 and an 8. But because of this 6, here's your 8, here's your 6, and here's going to be your 8. And we might get a little stuck here after we finish the top up. We got this 9, 8 right here. And with this 9, you got a 9, 7 right there. And now you're like, okay, Timberlake, where do we go from here? Where you want to look next is where you have, the greatest restriction. I mean, you have a 5, 6 here, but we don't have a 5 or 6 that can disambiguate for us. You look here, you have only 3 digits remaining, right? We got a 1, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. We need a 2, 3, and a 7. So we're going to use my neat naked triple trick to solve all 3 of these cells. So you have 2 and a 7 in row 7 and 7 repeated. We know we can solve all 3 when you have that situation. This has to be the 3. The only place the 7 goes right there, and this is going to be your 2. Awesome. If you want to learn more about that trick, you can check out this tutorial. But this 3 is going to allow you now to disambiguate the 1 and the 3 right there, solve this cell for a 1, and then we can move on with some more solving. With these 2 4s, you can solve for a 4 right here and just kind of focus here. Got this 2, so that's going to be your 2. That's going to be your 9. And now all we have left, it looks like a 5 and a 6 here. 5 to 6 there. So we know we can solve this cell right away because of the 5, 6 naked pair. This has to be your 8. And then we're going to see where we can do more solving. This 5 is the key. Because that 5 means the 5 can only be right here in row 8. So that's your 5, that's your 6, that's your 5, that's your 6, that's your 5. All right, nice little right angle trick, I call that. This 5 helps you to solve a 5 all the way over there. So that has to be your 6. And then we can use this 3, solve the 4 and a 3 right there. With this 9, we can disambiguate the 8 and the 9 right there, clean up all those marks you've been making, and then you can finish up the solve. We need a 5 and an 8 in block 7. Because of the 8, I'm going to pull it down from block 4. So there's your 8, there's your 5. And then our last cell, easiest way to find it is to look right here in block 9 is a 6. Now see if you can spot the hidden pairs in this next championship puzzle. Thank you so much for watching.